Look, I know exactly what your desk looks like right now. You've got 15 tabs open, a half-finished essay staring you in the face, and you've spent the last 2 hours just rotating a PDF in your mind. You feel like a failure because you've been studying since 6 p.m., but if I asked you what you actually learned, you'd probably just blink at me. The truth is, you aren't lazy. You're just trapped in the performance trap, where you think sitting at a desk for 4 hours equals progress. It doesn't. It just equals back pain, brain fog, and a massive side of guilt. But what if I told you that the smartest person in your class isn't actually working harder than you? They're just using a system that makes them invisible to distractions. I call it the ghost method, and it's how I condensed an entire afternoon of agonizing work into 45 minutes of pure, effortless flow. To understand why you're struggling, we have to talk about attention residue. Every time you glance at a notification or even think about checking your DMs, a piece of your brain stays stuck on that other task. You think you're switching back to your biology notes, but 20% of your processing power is still wondering why your crush liked that specific photo on Instagram. You're trying to run high-level software on a corrupted hard drive. Most people study like they're trying to run a marathon through a swamp. They sit down, get a buzz in their pocket, check it, try to focus again, realize they're hungry, and by the time they actually read a single page, their brain is already fried. The ghost method is different because it's based on a concept called cognitive disappearance. You aren't just focusing, you are literally becoming a ghost to the rest of the world. The first step of the ghost method is what I call the digital exorcism, and this is where most of you are going to want to click away because it sounds too hard. But listen, you think putting your phone face down on the desk is enough? It's not. There is a psychological phenomenon called brain drain, where just having your phone in the same room as you lowers your cognitive capacity, even if it's turned off. It's like a magnet pulling at your attention. To become a ghost, you need to put your phone in another room. Seriously. Go put it in a drawer, give it to your roommate, or hide it in a coat pocket in the closet. If you're thinking, but what if someone calls me? Honestly, nobody is calling you to give you $1 million in the next 45 minutes. You need to create a vacuum where the only thing that exists is you and the task. If the world can find you, you aren't a ghost yet. Now that the world is locked out, we need to talk about the ghost window. This is the 45-minute block where the actual magic happens. But here is the catch, you cannot start this window until you've completed the pre-flight ritual. Most students waste the first 20 minutes of their study session just looking for their pens, trying to find the right Notion template, or picking the perfect aesthetic playlist. That is a trap. You are using up your limited supply of willpower on logistics. Instead, I want you to spend exactly 3 minutes setting the stage. Open the document, put your water bottle on the right, and put on one, and only one, song on loop. No lyrics, no lo-fi beats that make you sleepy. Use brown noise or a repetitive synth track. This is your anchor. Once the music starts, you are no longer a student, you're a machine. This is where it gets intense. During these 45 minutes, you are going to use a technique called active retrieval layering. Instead of reading a textbook like a bedtime story, which does absolutely nothing for your memory, you're going to treat it like a crime scene. Read one paragraph, close the book immediately, and explain it out loud to an imaginary 5-year-old. If you can't explain it in 10 seconds, you didn't learn it. This forces your brain to stop being a passive consumer and start being a builder. It feels physically harder because it is harder, but this is how you compress 4 hours of glance reading into 15 minutes of actual mastery. You're not just looking at information, you're ghostwriting it into your long-term memory. But wait, because there is a wall you're going to hit around the 25-minute mark. Your brain is going to realize that this is high-effort work, and it's going to scream for a hit of dopamine. You'll feel a physical itch in your hand to check the news or look at the ceiling. This is what I call the boredom gap. Most people fail here. They think the itch means they need a break, so they go scroll TikTok for an hour and the session is ruined. To stay a ghost, you use the 5-breath rule. When that urge hits, don't fight it, just pause and take 5 deep, slow breaths. By the time you hit the 5th breath, the neurological urge usually dissolves. You've just rewired your brain to tolerate boredom, which is the ultimate superpower in 2026. Now, let's talk about the ghost finish. Just because the work is intense doesn't mean you should keep going once the timer hits 45. In fact, if you go for 2 hours straight, you're hitting diminishing returns. At the 45-minute mark, you stop. Even if you're in the middle of a perfect sentence. You stand up, leave your desk, and do something physical for 5 minutes. Stretch, do 10 push-ups, or just stare out a window. This is called passive encoding. Your brain needs a second to move that information from your short-term scratch pad into your permanent storage. If you immediately pick up your phone and start scrolling as a reward, you're overriding all that hard work with junk data. It's like trying to save a file on a computer while someone is pulling the power cord. Give your brain the silence it needs to actually keep what you just learned. The reason this works is because it respects the ultradian rhythm, the natural cycles our brains go through. Trying to study for 4 hours straight is like trying to hold your breath for 10 minutes. It's biologically impossible to maintain high-level focus for that long. By condensing it into a ghost window, you're working with your biology instead of against it. You'll find that you finish your work so fast that you actually have time to, live your life. You can play video games, see your friends, or sleep 8 hours without that crushing weight of, "I should be studying," sitting on your chest. I want you to try this tonight. Not tomorrow, not when you're motivated. Tonight. Pick one task. Just one. Put the phone in the other room, loop that one song, and do one 45-minute ghost session. No phone, no interruptions, total disappearance. You'll realize that the reason you've been stressed isn't because the work is hard, but because you've been trying to do it while being pulled in 1,000 different directions. You don't need more time, you need more intensity. You've got the method now. Stop being a spectator in your own life and go become a ghost. Let's level up together. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe.